on the indexes. So we have the NASDAQ pretty high this morning. Well, it dropped this morning and now it's rebounding back. It's led by the FANG stocks, and SP 500 was actually dragging along with the Dow. But because of the NASDAQ, the willingness to buy these large cap tech stocks, it's been dragging up the SP 500 too as well. So I'll take a look at everything, and I think here, when I was looking at this formation, it just looks so funny, right? So bull, or it's not, if it's a bull trap at all, right? But the reason why I thought it was pretty funny was because I was viewing this on the hourly. Right, I'm viewing this on the hourly, and it just seems such a weird kind of price action, right? Seems like it's like forming a channel here, just using the price. I was like, hey, there's a gap to the downside. There's two gaps to the downside, never filled. Obviously right here, there's no price above it, but we have former, resistance up around 214, 215 area. Yeah, so I just thought that was pretty interesting to me, that it's just two little floating green candles, right? We opened high yesterday. We gapped up, ramped up Amazon all-time highs, blah blah blah, right? And today we gapped down, ramped back up. So very interesting price action today. Real quick. Back to NASDAQ. So if you're I don't know who's in the room right now. There's no one on me right now on the Discord room, but I'll turn on the sound here, just in case anyone wants to hop on in the Discord room. But anyways, back to QQQ. So here we see the price above the 200 EMA. A lot of people thought we hit the 50%, at least in SPY and the Dow, and then we drop back from there. But we've actually breached the 50%, and we're now going a little bit higher than that. Trading above the exponential moving average. But right here, this formation, just again, what I said earlier, just looks very weird to me. It's like an island, right? There's gaps to the downside created by multiple days. The gap was never filled, right? And it's not going up either, right? The trend is not continuing. So today, it's the rule of 3 days. You have 3 days of green. So that's, if you're trading high volatility stocks, unless penny stocks, they will tell you like it runs for 3 days, whatever. And I actually do agree with that. You'll probably see 3 days of bull buying before everything goes down. So let's look at the 5-minute here. Gap this way, and now it's dropping. I just don't know. It's just because of the large cap stock in the FANG stocks that's really propping up tech, and that's the only reason why. It's a pretty safe bet. But Amazon at all-time highs, when I just don't know about that, because you saw the Costco earnings, right? You saw the Costco earnings. It's not like these people are selling like crazy. You can even compare it to maybe like retail sales. Retail sales down a lot. So is it being replaced by like sales from Amazon, or sales being? Well, we don't know. I think the earnings report is sometime next week. So that's something to look for, right? Tech is actually again pulling everything upwards. So we saw the SPY drop, the Dow drop, the Q drop. The Qs were down. I think what 2% this morning, and like it just whatever the ramp was this morning, ramp it up. So we'll see here in the last hour whether or not they want to hold on to those shares. So we'll see the rebalancing closer to the last 10 minutes. And then we'll see the margin call coming up in like 20 minutes or so. Just very curious. But all day, I'm going to lie, I was looking at SPY. Why was I looking at SPY? Well, I thought there was a good trade here today with a short position around 77 to 78. Unfortunately, the market wanted to go up, and it hit the top of my limit, even 279.64. So if we were, and I posted this trade idea online, unfortunately it didn't work out. But it came all the way up to 279.61 and hit that resistance point perfectly. So I think this is going to go back down today. I traded this and I keep on getting stopped out, and it's actually quite annoying for me. And that's the reason why I didn't stream for the last 2 days. It's because every time I think obviously I'm grabbing tops here, right? I'm not day trading here, right? I can intraday day trading here, but what I'm really looking for is to get a good position in and then swing the position, right? Because that's what I want to do. I don't want to be here, constantly going short, long, short, long, short, long until the account blows up, right? That's not, in my opinion, I'm too lazy for that, right? That takes too much effort. I'd much rather try to get a good entry short. And today, I actually came up, I didn't come up with this today. I was talking about it a long time ago. But essentially, my the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave that I had earlier, in the trading month, well, that was invalidated, right? So I had 4 wave around here. Right, I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, 4 wave ended up being up here, right? So I thought honestly this would have been the top. The breakout would have been a bull trap. But it's and I don't think I was the only one person surprised that it actually retraced all the way back up to the 270 level, and then even passed farther than that because of the FOMO. Again, something that surprised me, but it's not something that like, oh my god, mine cannot compute. It's simply FOMO buying to the top. Now if the stock goes down and the equity markets go up and I'm wrong and this chart is completely wrong, then I'll say like, I was 100% wrong. But in my opinion right now, the narrative to why the price went up is because of simply FOMO. There's a lot of people sitting at home wanting good deals, right? They're not seeing the recession, right? If you look at polls, you'll see people thinking that like people don't think the virus is real, right? Like 30% of the people think the virus is made in a lab, right? Like that doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me. So like I feel like there's a lot of people that actually think the recession's not going to happen, that like the 2.1 trillion by the Fed, don't fight the Fed, is actually meant for a way for them to make money on the stock market. People are going to be horrified to find out that the Fed actually doesn't really care about making people money. They just don't want people to be losing money, if that makes sense, right? They don't want people to be losing money, but they're not gonna, yesterday they said the Fed stopped some of their liquidity operations and commercial paper, right? Or something like that. So I feel like a lot of these headlines are created by the Fed, and when they say stop, go, that's when the market either bottoms or tops. And I just simply think the Fed has a much longer outlook. When you have a lot of the Fed members, were open right back up May 1st. Some people actually do buy that. And personally, for me, I cannot buy that. And that's why I've been not recommending long. I'm still not recommending long, right? 6 months. We need to hit October. We need to hit, Q4, Q3 area. Right? Q2 is going to be horrible, right? We'll probably channel by the time we get to Q2, Q3. We start chopping real hard, channeling, like no up, no down. Essentially, at that point, swing trades, I think, will be almost impossible, right? Right now you can swing it up, swing it down, right? But there needs to be a bottoming kind of, that the bull shape, that W shape kind of figure going on. You can kind of see a W in emerging markets, right? Go back to emerging markets. Right, so we have this channel here in emerging markets, and I have this charted out from a few days ago as well. Right, we have this bull flag, and emerging markets gonna go to 50. So like those that want to buy IWM, if you go to 50 right now, we can literally set this and forget. Buy order 50 at 50 for IWM. If it doesn't hit it, then it doesn't hit it. But if we're not even looking and it hits that limit 1 point, that'd be awesome, because this is a measured move. You can even do like something like 51. Chance of that happening, probably low to slim, happening like very quick over the next few days. But if it does happen, at least we know like, hey, 50 is a price target, and that's only from this consolidation we've had since the middle of March, since the beginning of March, since we bottomed out from that February drop, right? The middle of March, right? Again, IWM is a great way to find out whether or not the move up or down is real, right? A move supported by up move by NASDAQ, Dow, and also S&P 500 must be supported by all three markets going up. It's not like one's dragging the other two up or one's saving the other. And also IWM, which is the Russell 2000, which is the out of the Russell 3000, 1000 are the top 1000 largest companies. 2000 obviously is the bottom 2 to 3000, right? And the Russell 3000 is a combination of 1000 plus 2000. Sorry if I made that complicated, but if the Russell 2000, aka these much smaller businesses, right, are unable to overcome these challenges, you saw the return the economy, make America work again council, right? The economic coronavirus council. Who did you see as the leaders on there, right? It was leaks that it was like McDonald's. It was what was it like a bunch of different Fortune like Google, Microsoft. Would be on there as like leaders invited to Honeywell, leaders invited to participate in the thought making of essentially making America go back to work again, right? So they're gonna have very skewed on the waist, because I know I've worked consulting for a decent amount. Half my career I've pretty much worked from home, so I'm happy that you guys get to enjoy the life that is working from home. But half my life I've spent in office, right? I've spent doing regulatory compliance work, and during this work, right, I can tell whenever I have a client that's like a large, I work in financial services, a large client, right, a very big bank. Their resources are going to be different than your community bank, right? How they process things, how they do things. It's just going to be somewhat older and somewhat. It's going to be like, they just don't have the cash. So you're looking at all these big companies, right? We're looking at all these big bank reports that come out. JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, what was it? US Bank, Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs did pretty well because of their trading. But that's an investment bank, right? Let's go back to the retail banks. The big retail banks are going to essentially have enough cash to sustain, but they're getting crippled, right? Now look at these community banks that often do more riskier, that sell more riskier products to their consumer base. So like, think about the obscure like Bank of Bangladesh, right? They're writing out loans. What kind of what are they secured by? Like, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that kind of stuff. There's a lot of kind of stuff. George of the Jungle. What's up, Will? But anyways, so I also want to watch the closing of the SPY here. Right? So we bulled all the way up. We essentially made one big move here, just within this channel, and we didn't close the gap up. We didn't close we closed the gap down. Right now we're heading into the last 50 or 40 minutes of just crazy wild action. So what do you guys think is gonna happen here? I think we dropped. I don't yesterday we popped a little bit, got sold off, but there was a lot of volume here in the opening, and honestly, I think this level above 270 is just could become a distribution, right? Remember when we popped upwards, I said that's accumulation. It just looks like, like reflecting of what the price did in the past. It looked like accumulation. Right? They were just accumulating. This jaggedness was just buying, boom, and now they're just distributing. Selling. Right. Pop up, sell, pop up, sell. Right. Distribution. The only thing is just creating this giant bear flag. And this is on an index too, so that's what's making me worried. There's like so many different things that can bring the sucker down. There's so many things that can bring the sucker down. So this morning, NASDAQ only 5% off its like 2020 opening. So we're not really we didn't really drop at all. If you think about it, where's the risk here? The risk is to the upside or is it actually to the downside? So, I feel like it almost home runs. I don't like skimming, making that's why I don't like, maybe that's why I don't like options, because I just find it silly to spend like $100-$500 on options. See either go to like 2,000, like double, triple, quadruple, or it just drops to zero. Right? I just think that's like, I don't know. Meant for some. Will Goldman Sachs decide to buy Wells Fargo? Probably not. I don't think so. Probably not. But so we have a little bit of time here, right? We're popping up a little bit. Right. I'm looking for it. So okay, so I'm gonna close. I think we'll get to here, 271. I think by maybe tomorrow or on Friday we'll get to 271, and from 271, honestly, I have no idea, because it's gonna test this trend line, and we break, we're gonna waterfall. We break 271, we're gonna waterfall. So right now, this is the range, 284 to 271, and I think that's a really big range that we're working with here, and we're literally smack dab in the middle here. But I think we're gonna come down and we're gonna actually test that yellow line. I don't think we're gonna go vertical. It's just because there's no firepower left, right? We got the firepower, down here, late March here. But I honestly don't think there's any more catalysts for this to go up, other than the economy actually opening. The thing is, we can't. This thing is I think at this point, opening up the economy to where it was back in 4 months ago, it's a daydream, something not realistic. And I think the governors know this, but Trump apparently doesn't. Antibody tests. So what? Who cares? Who cares about antibodies? Right? People can get reinfected. South Korea has already proven this. This is back to the governor of Florida, realizing 2 weeks ago, oh shit, people can get, person-to-person transmission. Well, yeah, because they did it over in Asia. You don't have to redo the experiments. There's confirmed patients in South Korea that have been reinfected or reactivated, right? So the antibody test, what's the purpose? Just to see how many people have it. And also, I was talking in this COVID group yesterday, and there's 350 million plus people in the United States. It took us 3 months to make 3 million tests, right? I don't know how hard it is to make a vaccine, but I imagine it to be slightly harder than putting chemicals on paper or whatever, however they do it, right? How are they going to push out 350 million? Well, they can't. They have to do it in phases, and they would probably do the children and the elderly the first, right? So we're up here, 2021. I don't see any way to conduct business like it was in 2019. So that's why I think this is still going down. The recession, again, I don't have to explain these fundamental factors. You can just look at the price. The price collapsed in February, and it popped back up towards the 50, right? If I told you nothing else and I showed you this, what would a technical analyst do, right? I've been a little rusty. A technical analyst observes the breakdown or breakout and buys and sells on the retracements and confirmance that the breakout is true, right? So if I were to give you if I were to give you, if I put earmuffs on you and you did not listen to the news, you essentially are a computer, and you saw the price of QQQ dip, go up, blah blah, hit all-time highs in 2020, and just slam down, right? You would, and right, you're not trading anything. Obviously, your stop losses would be hit if you were trading upwards, and you're observing now, and you see this get slammed, and then you see this pop up. You've right, no position cash. At that point, you can say, hey, the market has dropped 30% and has bounced up here. This bounce could be theoretically considered a technical bounce, a 2 or 4 wave, right? And then short on, right? The breakdown is right when it breaks down, you can't not confirm it until it retraces, and right. So the retracement here is on the 4. So if I was a true technical analyst, right? Let's just say we have a break here, right? Or even if you're observing this whole big wave here, you can essentially say, right? There is a breakdown, there is the break up, right? And you short on 2. Right? You don't short halfway through 1, right? You observe 0 to 1, 1 to 2, and you short on 2. Same thing here. You observe 2 to 3, or if you're already in this trade, right? If you're not in this trade, you observe 2 to 3, you see 3 to 4, and then you short on the 4. Not once should you short on 1, not once should you short on 3, not once should you short on 5 during the trend. Shorts should come at 2 and 4. Same thing with buy should come at 1, 3, and 5. Right? That's how you confirm the drop with the Elliott. Right? 4 cannot be higher than the lowest point for 1. This is impossible for an Elliott wave. If 4 did go all the way up here, I don't even know what kind of pattern this would be. But it hasn't. Right? It hasn't. Like the high of 4 is 60 cents away from the low of 1, right? So they literally are, this is going literally to extremes, right? Extreme bull, extreme bear, right? I shorted, if you remember where I shorted, is about this time frame, right? This 4 right here. Why is that? It's because I thought it would go up towards the 50, but I honestly didn't even think it would go past the 50. And on my lines, it went past the quarter. Yeah, so that's just a quick rundown. Again, this pattern doesn't have to, this pattern can break if 4 gets violated. Again, if we go to the 200 EMA, which is this purple line for SPY, there's no fucking way this market is dropping. You might as well just buy to 4,000, buy SPY to 400. Like this market's not going down. But again, earnings have now been rolling out. Banks, it's now proven that if the Fed didn't intervene in mid-March, banks like JP Morgan Chase would have been obliterated, destroyed. If there was no liquidity provided to banks in the second half of March, in the beginning of March, they would have died. The banks would have folded like Lehman Brothers. And today on 08, we know what happened. Lehman Brothers folded, the market bounced, and then it collapsed. That was the catalyst for the bounce. The worst news ever. Lehman Brothers bankrupt, right? When we bounced, it was worst week ever in American deaths. We bounced on that. So, we look like fortune tellers. Right now, we all look like dumbasses. People predicting this 5-way. We're like, the price is going up, like to the average viewer. But to a trader we're always looking for 4. We're shorting on that 4. Right, we're not shorting somewhere between 4 and 5 once the trend starts. I want to get that 4, so it shorts all the way down, and I have the nice buffer. Because on the way down from 4, I can add shorts. Right, if the price gaps down and pops back up, and we know I'm in the bull trend, I can short that again. Just like how if the price was going up in the bull trend, right, we dip in the market, I can just add more SPY and keep writing it up, and then trim, add it up, trim, add it up. Right, you can just literally have 5 different lots of SPY, and every time the market goes up, you sell, right? And then you wait for an entry to go back in just to lock in. Or you don't have to be fancy, right? You don't have to be fancy, you can just hold it long, right? You just have 2 positions. Buy, and then you buy again, and then whatever taxes you need the money, wherever it needs to go, you sell, and then you just portion yourself in. Yeah, oil inventories went up over, I think, 14 million or something, or 19 million, I think, 2019. That sounds about right. So, uh, you know, 15% fall in home sales. So one big thing I'm gonna do it because obviously there's nothing to do is I'm gonna look at home sales. I am a property owner. I believe in real estate because I've looked at Donald Trump and seen how stupid he talks, but he's obviously a great businessman. Otherwise, he wouldn't be president of America, right? But he got that way through real estate. Oh, margin call time, margin call time. So here's margin call time. So I'm gonna blow this up for you guys while I tell this little story. I just completely forgot. Completely forgot. And again, guys, this is SPY. Right. Oh yeah. I want to go back to QQQ to show you the island. So I want to go back to 2016. Right. You guys see this island? See how these two bars are just floating? Looks very odd. So I want to go back to 2016. Look at these island reversals. Right, but these are grouped. There's an island right here. Let's get a little island right here. Right, there's definitely an island right here. Right, do you see this island right here too? These are all islands. Right, they're just floating. They gap up or gap down, and they're just floating. You guys see this? This island reversal? Essentially, it's just, two or more of these bars, just daily bars floating. No gaps filled. So essentially it says, if I can't gap up or go up any high, I'm just going to fill that existing gap to the downside. Or, vice versa. I'm going to fill the gap to the upside. Gas companies are getting tanked. But the thing is, gas companies make the money through arbitrage, so I can completely see them setting a very high gas, like for example, they probably make like pennies per gallon that you pump, so they can just essentially increase that margin to making 10 cents per gallon. Maybe that'll make up for the lack of sales. But I go to Costco to buy my gas anyways because I'm a cheapskate. And living in California, the gas actually, it really actually counts. The $4 gas actually, you get pumping it for $3.20. It actually makes sense. We're pumping premium. So, crude is done. Like, if you guys want to sell puts on USO, that's probably a good idea. If you want to get some premium, if you want to buy USO in the future, they'll just execute the shares to you if it goes below that. If not, whoop-de-doo, you made some money on the premium, right? But honestly, gas for me is almost untradeable. It's completely dead. In my opinion, gas is completely dead. Oh, I mean, oil and gas is completely dead. It's just literally like coal mining. Coal miners dead, right? I'm sorry. Coal miners are not relevant anymore. They're not relevant to modern energy uses. They have some source of use for some states, I guess, but again, it's dying out. Gasoline, as we trend towards green energy, electricity, blah blah blah, gasoline should be dying out too. And also, new technology. Remember, America's pumping 11 million barrels per day, more than the rest of the world combined, right? We're pumping 11 million barrels. Anyways, I just want to show you guys the island reversals here, so you can get you guys can't even see this one. There's another island right here, right? Just gaps everywhere. Right here, at least it's showing an uptrend. Right, these are all side trends. These are all going sideways. This one, I don't know. Kind of choppy. So, I just noticed that I don't want you guys to trade on that pattern. I gotta look at the probability of that pattern happening. But as we go down here in the last 27 minutes of trading, I want to see that shooting star coming out, so it can grant me a wish. So I want this NASDAQ to close at its lows, right? If it closes around 208, it's just gonna make a pinwheel. It really doesn't help me do anything other than think about what's gonna happen tomorrow. I would love for this to close as support 207.42 and just essentially fade away for the rest of the day, right? There's a reason why it's timed to last 1 hour. Is because people usually buy during the day. They can't wait. Okay, with this, make that island happen. Are you shorting SPY? I actually shorted SPY today and got knocked out. And right now, I'm deciding whether or not essentially buy back the short that I lost earlier today. But I think I'm gonna short QQQ instead. You know, I tried it with SPY. I kind of like QQQ better. It's almost suicidal. That's why I like QQQ better. This is almost so overbought. Like, how can I not want to, short QQQ? We're only like what 1% away from the highs of yesterday. I want to see. I want to see what happens during this last hour though. And I'm really not concerned about shorting at 212 versus 210 or 208, right? Although that's, a decent amount of percentages, 2% fluctuation up and down, right? That's a 2% range. If I can catch it and capture the 10% range to the downside, that's what I think, that's where the value is captured. But I would have to be carrying this overnight. The thing is, I'm already long the VIX. So if I go ahead and short sell right now on QQQ and short sell on SPY, I'm essentially naked shorting the market, right? I'm just naked, right? What am I? Why do I have 3 positions open for essentially a bet that's going to be bear? So I decided to make it even more of a gamble and just add to VIX. I love the VIX, and for those that didn't see my review of VIX earlier, right? This is the battle zone in VIX. I don't see VIX dropping 40. Like, it dropped 40 yesterday. I didn't want to go there. And look, the low of this candle is, what is that? 36.2, right? We hit yesterday a low of 37.3, right? Although this is getting completely smashed. I'm not gonna lie, this guy, VIX, is getting completely smashed towards the end of the day, and I don't like that. I don't like that one bit, right? Because it's underneath the 200 EMA, and this is the S&P 500 index. 200 EMA. But the thing is, depending on what what the CBOE, it depends on what you're looking at. So this 200 MA I think is kind of wonky for me, but I'm essentially looking at this 4-hour bar on the VIX. It looks a little clearer here, right? If we can hold this trend line, we're gonna fucking pop. Because I don't know if you guys remember. Yeah, look, right? Unfortunately, I was a little pussy on this trade and I took the gains way too early. But look. When this forms a wedge, it pops hard. It has to bottom first though. VIX will always pop hard if it bottoms and you never chase it. That's why, VIX at 90 is a good short. That's why BlackRock took the safest possible short. You can't go any higher, right? Short it back to 50, right? 84. What's half of 84? 42 minus the 7 from the 15. Right, so you want to see the 50%. How much this retraced? Is it 50%? Let's see. I hate this new chart. So it's even crashed below the 50%. This is the 50 right here. But that doesn't matter, right? The same thing is that it flattened out here. Unfortunately, we're under the 50%, right? So that is, but the thing is, my target is around. What was my target? Let me get to the other VIX. Okay. See, this chart, the moving averages, is much different. The CBOE. But anyways, we're bottoming. We've been at this low 40s. We dipped into the 30 yesterday. We easily popped over that. But I'm looking for that pop, right? That pop and then drop. Pop, right? I'm looking for the ebbing, where it just pops and then just like this, right? Something like ratios. You can chart anything. Anyways, let's go back to the last, 20 minutes here. What's up, Jern? So, I think right now you can short, honestly, SPY 2 is a good short from here. Anything above 270 is shortable for me. That's what I'm saying. For SPY, anything 270 above is shortable. 270 was a target that a lot of people had, and it's only natural for it to blow targets because in my opinion, what prices like to do, they just like to go just up a little bit just to, mess with you with the price, right? But we've already moved a significant amount into this last hour. We dropped from the highs of the day into this last hour, so I want to see if that drop continues, right? Essentially, if the bulls are completely exhausted today and we're just essentially just reverting back to the mean, right? That's why this morning I said the opening minute could be a good short to pivot back down. But again, the bulls are still here. I every day I underestimate the bulls, how much money they have pouring into this, and it's because the swings are so big. I can't help that affects me to see like, oh, the swing's up 3% for fucking SPY. That could have been action for a whole week back in the day, right? Like that little drop from 279.50 to 277.55 could have been literally a week back in the bull market. But right now, right here, we're back to the opening minute, 277.46. So this morning, I shorted the 278. I did something I shouldn't have done, and I shorted right out the gate. And then I got stop lossed out, but only for a little bit. I wasn't trying to risk it. I just want to see today to confirm whether or not this price wants to go down. Simply doesn't want to reverse. I'm sticking back to my gun, saying I don't really care about how much money I'm making on the short side. If the big money comes, it comes, right? This looks like it's breaking, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and short QQQ. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Esteban, I think at this point, I think QQQ is exhausted. Because of that earlier when I talked about the island top. I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. So I'm waiting for this. Go up just a little more. You are still short. So let's get it back down. Let's get it back down. I honestly, okay, so Esteban, I see an island here forming. Now, I don't know how long this island is going to form. It's either going to have to keep on going up, or obviously gravity's going to pull it down. So at this point, the high runner of the day is QQQ. I see the other markets dragging. I see IWQ's dragging the other ones up. Right? If QQQ did not have this bounce, the markets would be fucked today. So I'm saying that, yeah, so many people expect a drop. That's why I think it popped all the way back up to 210, right? Otherwise, they're ramping it up before earnings. It's the same thing they did with XLF, right? High cap tech, right? What did they do last week when they announced the financial SBA administration? XLF shot up like a cannon. Right? Look at this, right? SBA loan, ramp it up, and then you have earnings actually hit them. And then it just gets slammed. Right? XLF is getting slammed today. And XLF is gonna fucking jump off the cliff soon. Like, that's gonna be one of the first to die because the earnings are. Now you ask yourself, when are Amazon earnings? Are they next week? Yeah, I'm gonna short this. I'm gonna short this sucker again. It's just this little pop to this upside here. And honestly, I don't even care if it pops real hard. I don't care. I don't want. I mean, I don't want to play the game where I'm trying to catch it right now. I think right now, we're at resistance. I hate how this Apple thing is set up. Like, I have to use my phone because if I use, for some reason, the reason why I haven't been streaming is that if I have my trade platform running while I have OBS running too as well, it would not only crash everything, it freezes my computer. Something that's never happened to me when I'm using a Windows computer. But for some reason, video streaming on a Mac is incredibly difficult. Are you trading micros or the E-mini? You're trading the actual mini contract, right? So I'm good. So I'm gonna short 210 and let fate decide where we want to go to the end of the day. No stop loss, 210. Fuck it, why not? Only because this theory. I can't just simply say island top, right? I think this looks like, to me, it's island. This is topping like as an island. It just this thing looks so weird. Like, does anyone else see this and just say like, what is this? But it's like a candle. It's like a baby candle inside of a big green candle. It's just floating. It's just floating. Anyways, I don't believe Amazon deserves its all-time high. Well, it deserves, out of all companies, I think it deserves it the most, but no companies deserve all-time highs right now. That's essentially what I'm saying. Yo, so Esteban, yesterday the Fed said they stopped. They're decreasing. If you Google online, you can see the stop says their efforts have pretty much paid off, and they're just moving on to the next facilitation. And also private valuations. Airbnb have this value. So Airbnb issued debt based on 50% of the value that was calculated in 2019. And I don't remember the exact billions of dollars. I think it was like 16 or something like that, but it was like half of what they were originally evaluated at. So you can see these private. So I want to, when I look at the stocks, the public companies, you kind of got to look at the private companies too as well, right? The private companies, if you any information you can find is pretty much good information. Entirely sentiment and entirely algorithms. I think the Fed is here trading too. They have great analysts working on their team. They're predicting the price too, right? I'm sure the stock, right? They have a bunch of indicators, bunch of algorithms, all working for them. Otherwise, how would they facilitate this? All this monetary, derivatives. A Harami candle. Yeah, I mean, like, it could be, one, but you have to have opposite colors: green, red, green. I would love to see a high velocity drop here going to close. We got 9 minutes here left today. Again, I'm long VIX. I'm more concerned about me long VIX because I can get blown up in VIX. Right? We can go up 5% tomorrow and I just fucking lose my shirt in VIX. So, I'm concerned that SPY needs to die. QQQ is more of like, let's catch up QQ. That 4% that you earned yesterday, let's erase all of that, right? So many gaps, right? So that means essentially it says the price is going nuts. That's what the island reversal is. Again, I think island reversals have high probabilities of reversals, but not as high as some of the other indicators too as well. It just this it's just like this last 2 days. So it's an island, right? No wicks, nothing, right? No wicks. It's just so there's only two things. The price can only stay in this level for so long. If the uptrend is not established, it's 100% guaranteed that gap will be filled. And I think that gap will be filled when the earnings come out next week. Simple as that. Whether or not we bounce from there and go higher, I have no fucking idea at this point. Right now, I always like to see my theory of this island becoming true. Because if this theory of the island becoming true, and maybe we even gap down tomorrow and to fill the gap, who the fuck knows, right? I want to see how it deals with this impending doom on the bottom. Whether it just runs away from it and goes more bull, or decides to go ahead and obviously collapse. You can look. You can either use the one X VIX or you can use the 2X VIX. I personally I'm using TVIX, but again, I'm sizing my portions. Don't lose your shirt on TVIX. Those things are fucking crazy, right? It's essentially like you're buying an option, essentially, right? So right now, again, I have two shorts. I have one, a long on VIX, essentially saying volatility to the downside will be increasing, and two, a short on QQQ. So just make sure the portions you're using is appropriate. The VIX one is extreme. Again, I want to say again, the VIX, buying at VIX, that's if the VIX is not a single digit, it's very risky to buy. Right? The only time you should ever buy VIX on a short shot win will be at under 10. But see, Esteban, you were hedged. So if VIX goes above 50, you would have just lost the premium you spent on buying that put. Volatility. This, Esteban, we go up as fast as we go down. We could be tomorrow, we could be at 2,000. Right? We can be at tomorrow, next week, we could be at 2K SPY or SPX. Right? And then 1 week later, we could be at 3K SPY. I think the VIX will go and see. I love when the butter churns. I love the butter churns. Hopefully, keep it down. We have 5 minutes left until the closing of the market. This is the rebalancing of the funds. So if you're joining us for the first time, this is essentially just the rebalancing of the funds. Big funds don't make big movements during the day. That's where they decide to plan and make their things. So right now, it's either going to be a huge cover, huge buy, huge sell. Who knows? I would like to see us go to the bottom of the day. Most of all, I would love to see VIX go up and hold 43. I want VIX to hold 43. And the thing about VIX is that I'm even more confident in the VIX because of what you told me today with the CBOE. The options expire on Tuesdays. It looks like the VIX contract rolled over is 36.38. Is that what, right? Yeah, if it's in a backwardation or contango, it all depends. That's why SVXY was such a good, trade back in the day because like once the VIX rolls over, it just snowballs, right? You go lower and lower and lower, so the short becomes greater and greater, right? So yeah, but there's going to be a point where that doesn't help the short, and instead it's just going to work against the short on the long side, right? If the futures are trending downwards in the future, or I'm sorry, trending upwards, right? When the contracts roll over, they can come down and fill that gap. If it's downwards, if the futures are going downwards the next next month, then obviously then you can gap down more, right? So it all depends on how it's done, and that's why I don't like any ETF that essentially tracks futures because they're all going to have that issue. I mean, so this is honestly the most boring. We all say this. This is one of the most boring closings we've had compared to yesterday. I don't know if you guys were watching the close yesterday. A fuckload of volume, nothing happened really. We got a little variation. How big is this bar? This bar, what it? 1/5, not even 1/5 movement. And you guys, again, if you have volume profile on your workstation, activate it and see the volume by price. I can't show you guys here on TV, but there is increasing volume at these levels here across all indexes. So my worry is that if we were to break this level, essentially it just keeps running upwards, right? But we've actually seen the volume come in and kind of hold it down. It's holding it down a little bit here. So maybe they're distribution, right? Every time it goes up, you sell, distribute. Just like previously, accumulate. And then when it moves, it just moves real fast. So we got a minute here. Again, there is volume coming in, right? But this is pretty boring. So I want to go back to SPY because this one's popping. And we're probably closed at the opening minute. Look at that. Right, the opening minute is around 277.56. Fucking pivot. Yeah, so we literally closed within the first bar of the opening 5 minutes. Really not exciting. I didn't expect really anything to come out today. You can tell by my voice that I wasn't really expecting anything fun today, but it just didn't feel right. When the short volumes ETFs blew up, or I had 2018 February or March, if I remember correctly from my memory. It's because I only remember that date. It's because it was on the VIX, and then I got called into the office and completely forgot about it. And then I saw the VIX thing happen, and I was like, because before that, VIX was really like low single digits or something crazy where it was like going below the teens or something, just something ridiculous. And I remember like, if I don't buy options on the VIX right now, this is probably the best bet. Again, if it goes into low teens, single digits, it's a short shot VIX buy. Don't even think about it. Just fucking buy, right? And this is what I was doing. And then I called in the office and I forgot. And I just saw, the VIX blow up, essentially spike in the last, 30 minutes of trading, was it? And I was like, oh my God, what did I mix? How did I miss this? So, but anyways, I'm not really worried about that. But you wanted, let's see, Alpha Shepherd, what's up, buddy? So let's go to USO real quick. I definitely have time for USO. If my internet's working. Let's go to the weekly. So this looks pretty bad. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. USO again is traded on futures, so watch your butt. You might get consumed by. Actually, no, it should be. I don't know how the features are trading like, but right now just watch yourself because these are trading in futures. And from what I just talked about, the decay for the contract rolling, you gotta be aware of how the contracts are trading. But anyways, back to USO. It's bottoming, right? 4.43. I can think it can go lower. It can simply go lower, right? You have this island here. You're building an island. Same kind of island, right? So it has to gap up at one point. The only thing is, the island is not an island if there's trend, right? This is the weekly, so the bars look a little small. So let's go to the 4 hours. Do we see trend? This is clearly trending down. Right. It's not, it doesn't look too flat to me. Sideways trend more like this. But, lower highs. And we're off to see if we can make a lower low. That's what I see, right? To a lower high and yet to be seen lower low. So I'm anticipating possibly a lower low. And that could be a buy. Or I can sell puts. So if it doesn't even get there, you still, still benefit from the premium. If you're looking to go long, that is. Again, AMD, Roku, all stocks people are using when they're back at home. FOMO. People are watching the news, thinking people are getting restless. Think about this. You're getting restless. I'm getting restless. If I was mom and pop, I literally had nothing else to do than to watch the news. Oh wait, President Trump is gonna be never mind. Coronavirus conference soon. So everyone always watch the Corona conference, the COVID task force. Every day 5 to 6 o'clock, whenever Trump wants to go on stage, watch it. It's actually very entertaining. To me, at least, it's extremely entertaining. To others, it might seem like the worst thing that's come across their years ever, right? Just blah, 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 just blah blah blah, right? Again, Netflix, again, yeah, you're right, Raji. Like again, Roku, AMD, these are just all fan stocks, right? Tesla, fan stocks, Apple, fan. There's really no underlying fundamentals pushing those stocks up, other than the fact I love these stocks, I own these stocks, I use these stocks, right? Shaquille O'Neal only endorses products he uses. Similar to what we are as creatures, I actually think that people buy stocks they use. I think that's only natural, right? Right? When you're sometimes I'll say things, hey, I want to go to this store or I want to do this. Why? Why do you want to do that, Eric? Why do you want to do that, E? Well, it's because it's a public traded companies. I only support public traded companies, right? Similar kind of thought, right? Support brands that you own, right? Don't be buying Starbucks stock and refusing to buy Starbucks because you're too cheap of a customer, like I am. Which I am. I'm not paying that much for Starbucks. I'm okay with just fucking Wawa if I'm back home, right? So I'm not a Starbucks owner. So yeah, a lot of this guaranteed is FOMO. Like for example, so if Esteban, I would like you to maybe, if you have the free time, to read up about Elliott waves. Elliott waves is based on psychological impulses. So there's a reason why it goes 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, A, B, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. Right. There's a reason why it does that. Right. One, you have the people first movers, and then you have the trendsetters, and then you have the chasers. Right. Essentially, I think what happened on Monday where we popped up higher was essentially a chase. There's nothing that explain Amazon's pop to all-time highs other than the chase. Other than someone getting squeezed and then saying, oh shit, I should close. A squeeze is a chase too as well. Webull, isn't that like a trading website or something like that? I think I might have signed up for that. I signed up for a lot of random brokerages, which in the end just makes it worse for me to do my taxes. But anyways, that's pretty much it. I want to for research for both you and I, for all of us actually, I'm gonna do my due diligence because I think you can learn things every day. I'm gonna look up more about island reversals and see if I've seen any similar patterns in the past. I am long VIX. I am short NASDAQ. I don't know why I fucking did that position. Actually, don't have zero idea. Maybe because I'm speaking with you guys. I'm just like, I kind of want to get into this herd mentality. Maybe it'll work, maybe not. But I'm gonna trust my analysis based on the Qs essentially forming a little island here and dropping. But yeah. So tomorrow, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Any new news I'll post on the Discord. If you guys don't have my Discord, I'll post it one more time here today. If you like today's stream, just throw me a like. I'll be here every day. I just want to take a few days break to essentially do some of my own stuff the last few days, and I think I have a better grasp of what's to happen in the future here. I certainly don't want and do put their money where where I would say where it's good to short, where it's good to long, which is why I removed the part where I'm essentially just displaying my trades on the screen. If you're not following me, I probably won't mention it because I don't think it's relevant. I don't think it's really relevant to if all of us making money. We just got to capture the directional trend. But on my stock twits, you'll see me post 1 or 2 intraday trades. So you'll see a lot of that stuff come out on my Twitter, my stock twits. But in terms of maybe when I go long, I'll do that. But right now, short is extremely risky, guys. So if you guys don't know how to play the game, I suggest you guys to maybe sit on the hands, do what I did, right? Relax, relax. Economy's crashing, prices are not rational, right? We all know this. We just gotta let the time pass and see what happens in the future. We gotta keep on reading the signals that it gives us. Thomas Gerlach, what's up, Thomas? I moved to Denver, I moved to Philadelphia, I moved to New York, I lived abroad for a couple years. I've done some crazy shit. And I'm back here, stay-at-home order, trading at home. I'm right now in Los Angeles. I don't know where the rest of the crew is. Some of the crew decided to go off, get their MBAs. That's you, Willie, if you're on the stream right now. But people come and people go, and it's very, it's. I understand that a lot of people have left and come, but there's still a lot of people here trading. In the Discord, if you come here and join. Yeah, I quit my job at IBM in Denver. I had enough of that shit. The longest job I've held was that job for 8 months. 8 or 9 months. And then I was like, I gotta get back home to Philadelphia. I'm smoking way too much pot in Denver. Don't go to Denver. People think going to Denver makes you like this like crazy spiritual animal that's like infatuated with nature. No, it doesn't. It just turned me into a pothead. And I had to go. No, I'm just kidding. But I'll catch you guys next time. Hopefully our trades work out. And I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, I want to, Jern, before I go, I just want to say one more thing. Oh, thank you for whoever donated $4, Cucumber. I appreciate it. I have no idea who you are and that you keep on doing this, but I appreciate your giving this. But here, I'll tell you the difference between Denver and LA. Denver, you can smoke pot and just be in the fucking mountains and be isolated and go crazy. In LA, you can enjoy the sunshine almost, all year round, go to the beach. Everyone's much prettier in LA. Like there's a lot more benefits in LA. But when you're in Denver smoking weed, you're just like in this crazy mountain city that's like surrounded by no other major cities. Just like, I feel like the altitude does have some sort of, I felt like I was depressed and I had high levels of anxiety when I was in Denver. Right. But but the reason why I also quit too is because other shit has happened too. Good things happened. And I had the ability to do that. And I had the ability to essentially be a bum for the next 2 years and then travel the world. So I think it was a pretty good decision. So anyways, adios everyone.